And welcome back to Empire Total War with the Pirate Uberales mod. Today we are looking at war with Russia, and it's going to be the last battle against the Russians. They have gathered their entire force around Ufa, including the Tsar. I can't remember which army he's in. He's in one of these anyways. They have recruited him. He's a recruitable unit, just like Charles of Sweden. I don't know, I did definitely see him here somewhere. There he is! There he is! So he is there. And that's gonna be done. So the way we're gonna do it, just to explain why I'm doing the way I'm doing, is I'm gonna first move up Tolle, just to the border before interception. And then Charles is going to attack, because in my tests, because I want to make sure that this runs as good as possible, when I moved forward to Charles alone, he was intercepted, and he's not intercepted then by the entire force, he's intercepted by Tuvu, these two full stacks, but they don't bring in the rest of them into the battle, so it wouldn't have been as epic as one final showdown with one battle. So that's why we're going to bring up Tolle to reinforce. But before we go ahead and do any of that, we're going to have to turn our way over here. So we're still at war with Savoy, but that's not interesting. I also probably missed that they also hold Sardinia. Could threaten our trade, but they haven't. I'm not even sure they have a navy. Someone who does have a navy is us! Yes! Sweden! So, I'm still at war with the Ottomans. We are gathering up to building up the defensive force here of Istanbul. It's a lot larger force than we had last time around. So, this time around I have 2 of the 64-pound garrison carronades. I have 12 units of guard. And we have brought in all the sapper corps to defend this. So we almost have a complete full stack to defend Constantinople, and I'm sure I'll be adding on perhaps a few more guns to make sure that this very much holds out against an attack. But really, to break the Ottomans, we are going to attack their holdings around Syria, around Palestine, so all this big area right here, Palestine, and then in Egypt as well. So we're gonna launch attacks on them and disrupt everything. Hagen is the one that we're gonna send out first. Actually, we should send out the one with the largest navy, which is Armfelt. Yes. Well, I was about to say Armstrong. That's not the case. So his fleet is going to come, right, there's a few Ottoman forces here and there. So this port, I've already checked, it's open for business. Something that is also open for business is Cairo. Cairo. You are open for business. So we're gonna lay siege to Cairo, and I'm gonna drop the rest of the troops off. So we got a full stack there. So Marshal Armfelt has laid his an attack there. Now the next 2 ships. Now here there actually are, I believe, in both these ports. But what I'm going to do is we're gonna bring these 2 ships out. Then we're going to take the rest of the fleet here. Boom. And then we're going to move in. We're going to move into their interception range, because they can't stop us now. Okay, so these ports are have navies in there, so they're blocked for us, unfortunately. This one I can land in, but you see all this crap which is everywhere. There's actually more troops than I thought. I was hoping to land here and quickly snipe out the other areas here as well. Now that's a little bit dangerous, so going at least north of Jerusalem in Palestine. So we're gonna land here instead. Okay, so He doesn't want me to land the troops here. He wants to go to the port. I guess I was hoping their other ports were open. I only thought this. I knew these two were blocking me, but I thought I'll push through that and then I'll go to open ports just like the port here. But looks like we're gonna have to land the rest of our forces in Egypt. So not exactly where you would expect the Carolean army to be, in Egypt. And I was gonna go for it. I'm gonna dominate the Baltics. That's my key thing. That's the old Gustav Adolphus thing that I'm kind of always going for when playing for Sweden. So that was my plan. Turns out that didn't go my way. So let's make sure that everyone's here so they get perhaps a few stars as well. I was hoping, it would have been so much glorious if I'd be able to capture all three in one turn. Let's not burn down Cairo. I'm gonna demand the surrender of the garrison. They accept, and suddenly I own the pyramids. And I can recruit some colonial troops there as well. I'm hoping, though, that I was gonna be able to get colonial troops. The pyramids, wow, the pyramids are mine. Wonderful. What's going on here? A lot. A pleasure garden. This is... not all the potential of the region is built up. But that will come. That will come. So we have just landed tons of troops. 3 armies in Egypt. Suddenly, I feel like Napoleon. Unlike Napoleon, though, I don't have the British Navy to deal with. I only need to deal with the Ottomans. And so far, so good. They're all atheists, apparently, or a load of them. Few Orthodox. And 33 Islam. Right. But that's done. And I will try and push through here. I'm not entirely sure who I will hand over these territories to. Or perhaps I should keep them. Why shouldn't I keep it? Why shouldn't I be allowed to keep it? The main idea here is to just attack the Ottomans' base of tax, or make sure that they do not lag up the turns with all these worthless armies. It looks like they're building them up, though. Perhaps I'll give them to one of their allies or something, or hand it over to something really weird, just to keep it out of the hands of them. If I could, in sort of the way you do it in Napoleon, which is just take over the region and then hand it over to whatever state you can form, I would have done that. In that case, I probably would have gotten like the I'm not sure who we would have got. We probably would have gotten the Mamluks as a faction. Not entirely sure. But that's done. So we just conquered the pyramids. They're now part of Sweden. Wonderful. But now comes the big thing. So we have 2 armies here. Which one am I gonna attack? This one has loads of cannons. That's quite interesting. So let's attack that one. Right. Charles goes in for the strike, and battle is about to commence. So Charles brings an army of 7,000 men, and he has Tolle as his backup with another 7,000 men. The enemy in their first army bring up a pitiful 3,700 men. However, in reinforcements, it's hard to see, but I think it's... Wait, unfortunately it's not actually how many I thought it would be. but it looks like it's at least 9,000. So they have about 12,000 men to bring against me. And I have 14, so I do outnumber them. But I'm hoping here that I will only be able to use Charles's army in this fight, and that will mean that Charles is slightly outnumbered. Not in the same case as Armfelt against the Ottomans, but then again, perhaps the Russians is a more deadly force. I have prepared the Russians as well by handing over a load of technologies to them. Or as many as I could. They lack a few buildings to get all of it. With that said, I have talked way enough, or plenty enough I should say. So it's high time for Charles to strike down the Russian bear and claim victory. It is time for the final showdown. Let's go ahead and start. I'm gonna start by moving up the royal regiments towards this wood right here. Then we're gonna move. There's a lot of cavalry movement actually. Also, I mean, they've got... The cannons should not be firing on a dug-in mortar. Instead, they should be firing on limbered artillery, even though it's a 6-pounder. But once I get close, that canister could rip me to shreds. I think this Royal Brigade needs to come further down to advance in a swing like this. It's going to be potentially a mistake of spreading out my troops like this. Then the main line's going to move forward with Västerbotten regiments coming up in reserve. And then we're going to have the elites fan out on this side. And they're going to be backed up by the Grenadiers and then this cavalry brigade right here, which is already under fire and has lost a few troopers. Here comes even more artillery fire, it looks like. No, they're now firing towards the infantry. The thing is, I want to... Since this is going to be quite a long battle, we need to conserve a lot of... we're going to have to conserve the cavalry, but we also need to conserve the musket shots, because we ran out of... we started running out of shots in previous battles. Right now my artillery shots are all over the place. I think perhaps it's better to target something that is closer and destroy that unit right there. Their canister through the center is going to be horrendous. So I think rather trying to attack... We're going to have to attack through the back slope here at some point. But I think we'll lead the attack with the guards going through here. And that will open up for the cavalry to sweep in, take out the artillery, and then open up for the main line to advance onto the enemy. Right, we're doing quite a bit of damage here. But if these shots would be fired to bounce, this unit would probably already be gone almost, given that I have 3 batteries firing on them. Let's go ahead and take a look. I think we might not need to... We can advance a little bit further here. Joined in with the Grenadiers. And then the main line should be close enough that it can quickly move up to join in the fight, but far enough that it's not going to take a horrendous amount of cannon fire and lose tons of men. I want to see if my artillery can completely blast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to test firing on the ground right in front of it and see if we can't get a better assault through that. They're moving in another cavalry unit. Alright, this one will soon be in position. It's going to be important to coordinate with the cavalry so that we minimize both the losses on the cavalry, but also conserve as much ammo as possible. There's a second unit coming up, and I think perhaps maybe I should actually order the cannons to target the back. Oh, now they're ordered into attack instead. We're gonna hold fire and wait for them to get closer, and then we can sweep in with the cavalry to take them on once they're ready to withdraw, or basically cut them off from a retreat. Not entirely sure where they're going right now. Let's wait for the perfect opportunity here, which is about halfway through, I'd say. And then the entire brigade opens up and then forms square. My cavalry brigade with Henrik's Lions and Royal Falcom and his Royal Germans will move up, and they will make sure that the Russian cavalry have nowhere to go afterwards. Important here is to order the cannons to fire on something else. Might not have needed to move in all three. At the same time, no movements here, which means I can continue to micro on this side. Right, get rid of them. And you can drop your squares. We'll make sure to hold fire though. They have a Fusilier regiment there. They might have some troops in the woods, but I do think there's a chance here for my cavalry to actually run for those guns. We're gonna hold back. Wait, which one? What unit did I order? I'm gonna withdraw these two. Also, that means that I could probably advance these a little bit. So it's Falcom's Germans. I feel like the woods are gonna cover their attack, and at least I'll get rid of the mortars. Even if we are to receive fire now, it's gonna be soaked up mostly by the wood. And he lost 3, 5, 6 troopers in that while killing the mortar, and we withdraw. 6 troopers, right. With that done, it's now time to conduct the attack here. Looking at how they're positioned, the Grenadiers should be at the very side here, and I think what we need to do is we need to move up pretty close to fire, with the Grenadiers ready to swing around and throw the grenades. And at the same time, the cavalry should move up here. So nothing's moving forward on this side. I think we could probably start gaining ground here as we conduct this attack. And the enlisted front line can move up. Okay, so we receive fire now. Luckily, it's towards the troops in the woods. So that's soaked up most of their gunfire. And then the mortar regiments, or the grenadiers, will move in quickly here to strike and absolutely annihilate these. So far, no units of reinforcements are moved in. And also this, let's see, the first have not joined in. Right. Go close. They've managed to avoid all the gunfire, more or less. This unit has been completely savaged by the fire from the Royal Regiments. I will actually hold fire for a bit as the Grenadiers move in. A lot of the fire is getting soaked up by the woods. And I now want to delete this side of the Fusiliers. They're not moving their line, which I'm quite surprised. There goes the grenades, the first toss, which more or less deletes that unit. Let's try not to lose any more men. The Royal Brigade will advance further and then fire at will. The Grenadiers will be ordered back to this position and then fire at will. We've got 2 units now retreating. Cavalry will be moved forward. Could be a reinforcement unit, but that shouldn't come this early, should it? So of the units that held here, we have 2 units already retreating. Actually, we will continue to throw grenades. And at this point right now, I'm able to level 4 units against 2. What the crap? Where did that cannon shot come from? Is that my cannons? Hardly. Okay, now they're attacking here, which is not great. Okay, now there's going to be a little bit difficult because now the cavalry is starting to move in here. He's trying to come around this unit. Forcum is going to be moved in. Artillery, I'm going to target the artillery to just fire here. The Grenadiers have another toss. We need to make the line like this now. And I think we should be risky and move even closer. And the cavalry should move even closer there. Okay, so we are taking cavalry attacks here. Forkum's Germans need aid because now there's 2 Russian units assaulting there. This line is doing well. Okay, the cavalry on this side will go in. Try and upset quite a few units here. My artillery will target... Ooh, all the cavalry is now moving towards this side. 3rd Regiment of Horse is in a bad spot. Needs to be withdrawn as soon as possible here. And... actually, most of the cavalry needs to be withdrawn. I gave them the ability... now the 3rd needs to be saved because it's getting destroyed. Alright, you can drop the squares. And seeing as though Russian troops are now moving forward on the main line, we will move these guys forward. And then the elites will come closer. The Grenadiers will be ordered to fire grenades. Okay, so we gave enough space to allow this unit to retreat. Now I'm gonna see if I can get these 2 to retreat. And there's a slightly big risk as they're dragging all that cavalry with them. So I'm going to withdraw the Grenadiers to safety. The main line has moved forward. I need the cavalry to be ready to charge there. Okay, now this side is completely open. Should have moved these guys quite a bit ago. And these 3 units. Okay, guards are about to get attacked. My cavalry. The Grenadiers are aiding in that fight, these two, so it's Izzy and the Iron Brigade are coming on the cavalry attack. And then the two Grenadiers need to be moved back out of that square. We need to... the cavalry that I have here need to be reorganized and saved. The Grenadiers actually need to be moved back here. My cavalry needs to get out of there. God damn it. And also, I need cavalry to get at these guns because they're probably firing canister at this point. Okay, so one of the cavalry units managed to... both of them seems to be getting out, but that's because they're gonna take shelter with the Iron Brigade. Tons of troops here, which should be a good target for canister. My cavalry needs to block that. Okay, cavalry's coming in now through the back. Oh, stop. The spikes everywhere, spikes. Spikes. Not good. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on here. Izzy's unit is breaking its square. My two cavalry units are safe. However, there's cavalry that's holding on here. Rather than... could be a mistake not going for the guns at this point. But I want to make sure that the retreating troops are taken out. Also, the Grenadiers could be moved into grenade action here. Okay, they just deploy the cavalry onto the square, which means that I now can move up here. And I will get this. The 8th Regiment will be coming in to kill those guys. Let's see, Grenadiers. It's a bit risky moving straight into the attack here. Fan out and hunt retreating troops. And now this unit will move directly for these guns. I have not been paying attention here. Idiots. Large part of the regiment rode straight into those spikes. Oh! Both units threw grenades on that and destroyed it. Alright, the Royal Brigade will advance. My cavalry is riding down them over there. All the enemies are destroyed. What I'm noticing now, though, is enemy reinforcements, which I should have planned for earlier. But they seem to be coming out. There's at least one coming out from over there. A general was killed. Right. We need to reorganize the troops then. Let's imagine that most are coming out from over there. Okay, the Royal Brigade should move through here. So for now, anyways, this is how we advance. while the cavalry will try to ride down all of these troops. So we have general staff, and then horse archers coming in. So we just defeated the first army, which should be around 7,000 men. And now the secondary army is then coming in, which should be about 7,000 men. Should advance through the woods so that I am able to get the advantage of fighting in the woods at least. It's going after the units with high numbers of troops still in the unit. A single unit, that's pointless charging after him. Also at this point, the cannon, if their reinforcements gonna come in there, the cannons and the king are in a difficult spot. The reserve brigade moving up. Let's see. All the enlisted regiments, which... pretty easy to find which enlisted regiment was not in line with the rest. Cavalry is sweeping the field, which they acknowledged. That was perfectly timed. Tons of cavalry coming in though. Let's organize the cavalry. We have lost one cavalry unit, which has retreated from the field. That I clearly was not paying attention to when he was lost, or where he was lost, what happened. Hopefully, he was just forced to retreat. The amount of grenades that killed that militia unit right there. Oh, look at this unit. Completely just died there, right in formation. Okay, as much as I would want to move further, we're gonna have to hold here. These idiots are not turning their guns, which is saving me. And then the reserve is about to get attacked here. The king is actually about to get attacked here. The thing is, early on I tested it out, and they die so easy. The sort of specialty regiments, that I wouldn't want to order him into a fight unless it was very, very necessary. And it would feel very stupid to lose the king to a horse archer unit. How? Okay, turn around and get him now. Chase them off the field. I don't want to have that bastard unit hit me in the back. And then reorganize these guys. Ah, I completely missed this front line now, which is getting hit really hard. The enlisted need to take over the front line. While that one bastard unit was following the king, the enemy has attacked with all its cavalry the royal lines and done quite the number on them, especially this unit, which has lost half its manpower. Oh, here's bloody Cossacks coming in. Right, the life guards will be moved to this side with the grenadiers backing up the enlisted right here. All cavalry piled on to the Cossacks and destroy them. Alright, cavalry forward. King is coming back. It's the front line. The Västerbotten regiments I think what we'll do is we'll do like this, so they can't flank as easy. The squares will hold. A risk is, though, is a lot of friendly fire from the enlisted regiments. However, that might be preferable at this point rather than getting completely run over. This regiment is in serious trouble. The 69th regiment is in serious trouble of being completely overrun. And they lost their will to fight and is now redrawing. These two squares will be withdrawn to safety. Alright, that archer unit was forced back. 92 men, they will survive, but with high losses. As soon as possible, the 73rd will be moved back as well. I will order the artillery to pick targets as well. It's a lot of infantry coming in here. The thing is, so far all the reinforcements coming in here, I feel like at any moment they're gonna come in from some other angle and gonna take me completely by surprise. Right, now the square can withdraw. All three will hold fire and form around the center. Oh, this unit's coming really close to the guns. Switch to canister. The front gun will be a canister throughout. Okay, their cavalry as soon... Yes, broken. Good. Right, the enlisted need to take a line like this. Forward. And preferably hit this one pretty soon. Because it looks like he's about to set up spikes. There's a problem here with the enemy setting up spikes and all these obstacles for me throughout. See about shooting these guys before they're able to set up their stupid spikes. Oh, you know what? Hold fire. All the guns will switch to canister because that guy is close as hell. I think they changed their mind. Okay, the volleys are going in. The problem here is the woods is gonna soak up a lot of shots. So I should really push through the woods and secure the other side of it. That unit was hit pretty good with the canister. We'll keep the first one as canister and the rest as firing through. The guard should come in something like this. We need to move... Let's see, where did I put the grenadiers? The grenadiers need to be moved to use grenades to clear the woods. Okay, now when the enemy is this close, you can open fire again. Especially since there's Cossacks coming straight for you. Alright, you don't want to fire, form square instead. Another... No, this is not cavalry attack, this is a Bardiche unit. I'll deploy cavalry here to go ahead and deal with the Bardiches. Oh, I forgot. These guns are actually aiming for those troops right there. Fire for... Wait. Is that Tsar Peter? Tsar Peter! You know what? Ah, all the stupid. Let's see if we can't find a moment here for Tsar Peter to fall. At the hands of the king, we should deploy all cavalry then, to make sure. You better not be riding onto a spike, you dumb bastard. Right, Tsar Peter, we're gonna have to attack. Actually, lock that one. You'll attack this one. The king is now coming through here. Tsar Peter is just riding back and forth across the line. Okay, the enemy was forced back. The Bardishas. Right, here comes the king. The spikes over there. Where is our Peter going? He's going over here. I said that I doubt that I would be able to throw grenades onto cavalry, but it looks like I might be able to throw grenades onto the Russian Tsar. Right, all the cavalry is going in there. Let's see, there's like a cluster of spikes right there. Oh, now I have to go back through that hole. The Russian Tsar broke through. He broke through the lines. Now I have to go back. Alright, let's try and get the cavalry out of there and just chase down retreating troops instead. The Tsar is weakened. Oh, the guns are firing for him. Oh yeah, I remember now. I did order the guns to fire for him. I'll order the guns to hold fire. Actually, switch the canister because there's a unit really close. This is dangerous though. There's Peter. Where is Charles? Where... Charles won. Let's not ride onto any spikes. Did the Tsar get away? I think we might have killed the Tsar. But there's no time to linger on that. I need to recall the cavalry. Let's see if the grenadiers can hit this unit. These need to form into line, and we need to see if we can push through the woods. Okay, one gun was forced away, or forced to retreat. The other two is holding strong with the canister. Okay, guards, slightly better angle. These three units slightly forward here. Oh, they did manage to set spikes in the woods. That's something to remember. We need to move forward, take control of this. That was pretty spectacular though. I think we could potentially find the body of the Tsar somewhere here. The two kings met each other. The Russian Tsar against the Swedish king. I'm gonna move in the entirety, more or less, of the Västerbotten regiments to clear the way. We're gonna add the grenadiers here. I'm gonna have these three units set like this for now. with the reserves moved here. Right, you're ready to fire at will. Fired perhaps a little bit early. Oh, they broke before they reached it. That's actually perfect. I didn't fire it early at all. Okay, Grenadiers join in that fight. Force the enemy back. Now, I did switch to canister, but switched to round shot again. Right. We've got these 3. Ooh, you're just down to 134. That's not good. You will be moved to reserve then. This fight is taking way too long. Also, it's been joined now by Cossacks. Oh, these 3 are actually out of ammo. Or not all of them, but then the Royal Regiments, which has spent most of the time in square, will be moved forward. Right, and these units will be moved back. We've got a Fusilier Regiment moving forward over there. I'm gonna move all the cavalry down here and join in the fight there. Let's see, the Grenadiers will be set in reserve here, and then the 2 smaller Westerbotten regiments will be set there in reserve. One of these enlisted still had gunpowder left. I want to move through though, so we're more or less gone through the woods. The enemy keeps coming on. Good amount of fire on those hated horse archers. Hate those bastards. Dragoons, more dragoons. There's a risk of this side getting kind of outflanked by enemy cavalry. However, they're going to be supported by cavalry. Slowly we're pushing the enemy back, but as you can see, we're starting to have units running out of fire. But it looks like, or at least for now, that we will in fact have bullets to the end of the fight. Are you? Yeah, you're just reloading and you don't have a target. The enemy is coming really close here. For some reason we're not able to force them back. That seems like a target for the Grenadiers. These do not want to advance. These do, so they would be targets for the Grenadiers. When one cavalry attacks gets beaten back, another one re-emerges. There's still reinforcements coming in. Fight here continues. Grenadiers have a chance to move here to throw. There's a risk of them throwing into each other. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, and I'm going to move these guys back. And we're going to hit this unit with 2 sets of grenades. Okay, it looks like we only have time to do 1 set of grenades. Enemy cavalry being forced back. Grenadiers move to the rear again, and the enemy, or the unit, moved up again. I don't think we're doing much damage. We're wasting ammo on this side, I think. Continuous cavalry attacks against the Iron Brigade has severely depleted that unit. I'm gonna move all the cavalry up here to join the fight. Could it be... Oh, you're out of ammo. I've got one here. We can take this guy's place. I want to see when the end comes, and it's gonna be time to move everything into action. Might be time just to try and crush this completely now. So the guard brigade, these guys gonna be moved up. You're gonna have to form into square before you are replaced. And then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna march forward. And we're gonna get these two smaller ones to come up here. These 3 units be moved forward. Grenadiers to follow, together with the reserve. This one was beaten back. Now the one that actually has shot will move up. You can break your square. Ah, shit! The 9th hit this guy then. God damn it. There was still reinforcements coming out, but I think we'll have enough here to destroy these enemies right here. They're out of cavalry, I think. I say, as the Iron Brigade is yet again hit by Cossacks. Why waste bullets when we can force these bastards off the field? The entirety of the line will be moved into the attack. The cavalry will come up through the rear. They've placed spikes. They've placed those spikes in odd ways all over the place. And it makes it rather difficult. Ha! The Iron Brigade broke them before they got close. Unfortunately, we've got the 11th Cavalry Regiment and the 8th breaking. Actually, there's high risk there. Go after these. Continue the bayonet charges through here. We've got it's the named cavalry regiments that remain. Are they coming in reinforcements through this flank now? They dismounted in the middle of the fight here? Oh, out of shot, that's not good. More and more of them are coming in. Cavalry back. Let's try and organize something here. That's the problem when you go into bayonet attack, is that everyone's everywhere. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, they are coming out from there. Okay, we need to retreat this way. Oh, how did you end up all the way out here? Form square? And more of them are coming out. 36th and 35th Regiment is in a really bad position. Wait, where's the king? We're gonna retreat towards the cannons at this point. I want to rescue those, but it could potentially be too much, given the amount of the amount of enemies that are here. Those two units just charged too far, and now they're caught in a really bad spot, surrounded by the Russians. And the thing is, so many of my units are out of shot at this point. The only thing I can hope for right now is that the units make it to safety. I don't think my cavalry can even make it up onto the hill there. That's a pretty good shot from the square. Yeah, the units there were soundly defeated. And I'm gonna throw the entire army into retreat. We can only hope that... looks like 35th and 36th is gonna be totally destroyed, unfortunately. 47th forced back. I will get reinforcement from Tolle, but I would rather win the battle with just Charles. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to have the 11th form into square and act as a rear guard as the army retreats. The canister here is not working that well. I'm gonna specifically target an area of the unit there. I think this is it though, in terms of what the enemy has left. What's this? This is a Freedom Regiment. Here's the 2nd Grenadier unit. No, it's being fired upon point blank. And now with grenades as well. Trying to filter out the units that still have ammo, which is not a lot at this point. All the rest of these regiments are out of shot. The 11th got overrun, and unfortunately looks like they're going to be destroyed as well. Firing on this seems pointless. Firing on this might actually have a chance. I'm gonna have to lure the enemy into canister range. And then we're gonna hit them with a counter charge. Pull back further here. Hold fire guns for now. And then the king and the cavalry is gonna hit them from up here, coming down like that. So this is the final part of the battle here. These are the units that still has ammo. Everyone else is out. And they will be ordered into a melee attack. Fire on that. Oh crap, there's a cavalry unit there. The Russians are in hot pursuit. What I will do is move the regiments that still can fire. Needs to be moved up the sides. Away from the main fight, so they can fire from down from the sides, down upon the enemy. Okay, so these three. Alright, the rest of the forces have been ordered in for the melee charge. And the cavalry is now swinging around. It's the king, Henrik's lions, and Forkum's Germans. And the hard target is this right here, so they will be ordered in towards that. Here comes Henrik's lion and Forkum's Germans, striking the enemy in the back. This one gets repeatedly hit by canister. Units moved into there. High losses. But the enemy is in fact broken. Unfortunately, it looks like Henrik's Lions was beaten until the point of destruction here. Only 13 men managed to survive that fight. You know what? Fall upon them instead. They're all being broken over there. Charles is gonna ride after them. Switch to round shot and hit that unit. And the melee here continues. Forkum's Germans are now giving way. There's one enemy regiment in the mix of all of that, which is the 1st Bombardier Regiment, but they just got taken out as well. Just gonna order them to charge after whatever. Forkum's Germans are back, and with that we are victorious, and we didn't use Tolley's troops. I do note here that we've played for 52 minutes. The battle has 8 minutes left until it's over. Why is it so difficult to kill this unit? We'll tally the survivors over here. There's so many, there's spikes here, otherwise I would send him after. I could just put pressure on them. I don't want them to come back, of course. But you know what? I'll put that a round shot and firing on this one. Make sure that he doesn't come back. So, I mean, could you ask for a better battle to end the fight against the Russians? The king, the two kings meet each other on the field, and Charles stand victorious in a that melee fight, and then through all of this, we beat twice our numbers. Oh. They're very tired and they've fought so hard, so yeah, I guess it's okay for them to leave at this point. We're just waiting for this stupid archer to give up. I think, if I'm looking at it, the entire Royal Brigade survived. So, or the Guard Brigade. So, Rob's Brigade, Izzy, the Iron Brigade. Oh, and the First Foot Guards. The 2 Grenadiers survived. So, Lindström is survived with 106 men. And the Freedom Regiment, the Slavic Freedom Regiment, has survived with 35 men. Forkum's Germans did survive until the point that he decided to leave at the moment of victory. They haven't placed any spikes there, right? So, but he basically survived, didn't he? Unfortunately, Henrik's Lions was cut down to just 13 men. So it looks like, unfortunately, that unit is gonna be destroyed. Perhaps. I think even as I win the battle, more units should be allowed to live. But it could be that he lost just too many units for it to survive. I'm hoping it survives though. With that, we have victory, and it is a glorious one. As a result of the battle, we deployed 14,000 men. However, only about... well, Charles's 7,000 is the only one on the field. Actually, at the very end, I did notice Tolle and a heavy cavalry unit had made it onto the field, but that was about it. So we deployed 14,000 men against 13,000 of the enemy. We ended up losing 5,000 men, which means that there was only 2,000 left of Charles's army. The enemy loses 10,000. So remaining force on our side is 9,000 against about 3,000 Russians. In terms of, yeah, all cavalry units ended up... no, there's one that retreated early. So only the 2 heavy cavalry units survived. All 4 Royal Cavalry regiments were destroyed, including Henrik's Lions. However, Henrik's Lions fought to the very end. There was only 13 men left. Last I noticed them. So it wasn't... they died before they abandoned their king. Otherwise, it looks like... yeah. Let's take a look at who killed what, shall we? Royal Infantry Levy is the one that killed the most, which is surprised. Followed by one of the guard units. We don't know which one that is. Royal Infantry, Royal Regiment of Horse. It would be nice to know which one that it. Royal Regiment of Horse. Oh, that's Forcombe, right? That must be Forcombe. Because he has 27 men left. Let's look for... that must be the king, the Royal Brabant Corps. Where would heavy cavalry... oh, that's... now we're into Tolle's army. Who killed the least? Royal Regiment of Horse. One killed only 24. Oh, it was that one that left early. I'm interested in seeing... Life! The Life Regiment is the horse that... I believe is the regiments, the Life regiments, 4 of them. Should, yeah, those are the horse regiments. So, this one's only a 13, but I doubt that, what's he called? Henrik's Lions only killed 164. It could be that he was this one right here at 11. It's either this one, so either 164 or 402. And I'm willing to bet that he... yeah, oh yeah, these 2 were the newly recruited ones. So I'm pretty sure Henrik's Lions, which being the one unit from the start, was probably this one then that killed 402 before they died. But it's hard to say when you can't see the name, and unfortunately since the unit is gone, there's not much you can do in trying to figure out that. But there we have that. Where's the Grenadiers? Let's see. Go by unit instead. Where do we have Grenadier Guards? What's this? Grenadier 4 Grenadier Guard companies. Oh, that's including Tolle's 2 regiments, right. So here's what... this was the Freedom Regiment, and this is Lindström, what they killed. Right. There we go. One very long battle. Took me over an hour to complete that. All the Russian forces retreat away from the capital. The enemy king dies, and now Tolle can lay siege. No, he cannot. Well, he can bring everything but the cannons, I guess. He will be able to... I said he will be able to bring everything. But the guns... So some of the stragglers Since it's the last, they're not bound to surrender. I cannot order a auto-resolve because I fear that would kill more units out of the King's army. To replenish the King's army, it's going to cost me almost 20,000 gold. You know what? I'm going to do this quickly off camera, and then we end the Russians. Boom, the Russia is gone. And with that, we will end the video. Taking this fort was a battle of its own. I did manage to do it within 15 minutes, but without cannons, and the enemy actually blowing up holes in their own wall. They actually killed 2 grenadier regiments that were climbing here, or 2 grenadier companies that were climbing here. Lost half the men when they blew up their own wall, and there was quite a lot of fighting all around. However, as you can see, we are now victorious. They also blew this part of their own wall up. I was able to surround it, but yeah. Eventually, we won here as well. And here's the result of that battle. Deployed 9,000 men to Tolla's army, plus the 2,000 from Charles's. 3,000 defenders. We lost 1,300 men, which is quite a lot. And what I can see is all grenadiers actually survived. All 4 grenadier regiments actually survived, which I'm lucky that they did. But yeah, here's that victory. Västgötadal killing the most. And on that note, Russia is destroyed. The Russians are gone. State defeated. Russia. From here on out, I mean, basically this could actually be the set for this campaign to end, because I mean, what we have left is fighting Denmark and fighting the Prussians, basically. But I don't think we'll get anything compared to the fight we just had against the Russians here in Ufa. And we had the similar one against the Ottomans. I did this little side quest to Egypt, but you know, that really is a side quest that went so far. Quest was to secure the Baltic Sea, and suddenly we find ourselves on a side quest with Swedish troops have landed in Egypt. Could we get any further away? And also, I have been noticing that the view counts on my videos have been severely reduced. So I think it's high time, perhaps, to end it. I'll leave it up to you guys if you think I should continue with it. And we will fight then the Danish and the Prussians. I'll see about trying to... The problem with the Prussians is the Prussians are sending all their troops away to fight in the colonies or something. I don't know where they're going. But hopefully we might be able to get a good fight against the Prussians. I have given them a load of technology, and I'll do the same to the Danish. So perhaps we'll have some good fights against them, but you know, there's the potential here is not that great to continue the campaign as of now, because we did have, I don't think we'll top something like we did here with the battle of with the Charles against the Russians. Ah, I completely forgot. We're supposed to have the Caspian Sea fleet fight each other. Maybe the Ottomans have a Caspian fleet. I'll go look for them. But yeah, this could perhaps be the last video. But I'll be leaving it up to you. So in any case, there will be a bonus video after this, depending on if this is the last or not. And on that note, I will say, like I always say, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.